Welcome to the Hollywood Raw podcast. I'm Dax Holt, fresh back from BravoCon. I'm going to fill in my buddy Adam Glyn, who is over there getting ready to listen to the Raw rundown. We got a lot of great stuff coming up for you on today's episode. We are going to get into all things BravoCon, the big hits, the big misses, everything that went down. There is a very important item that was returned back to Keanu Reeves that was stolen years ago. We're going to get into that. One of the Real Housewives was escorted off a Delta flight after BravoCon and questioned by the FBI. We'll talk about that. And Kate Winslet making a huge faux pas by almost having her nipples pop out in front of one of the most famous men in the world. We will talk to you guys about all of that, so stick around. Adam, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. You know, I got FOMO because you were at BravoCon. I wasn't. I was texting you all weekend to not getting responses from you, Dex, because you were so busy running around. I was like, are you having fun? Are you getting work done? Like, what is going on? Are you sure you're at BravoCon? Because I was getting nervous for you. I was like, are you okay? And you obviously said you're okay. Few questions regarding BravoCon, Dex, because you were there. Is it worth it? Is it worth going? Not for you in general. As a regular person, would you recommend someone going to BravoCon?
I think if you are a super fan of Bravo, 100%. And the reason is because every single Bravo star is there. They are accessible. They are live and in person. You can get up pretty close to them. They're walking around like the convention floor because a lot of them have booths that they are going to go stand at and let people get photos and pictures. And it's funny, when you are there, you know when a celebrity has walked out because of the screaming, the cheering that happens. And it's happening all day because everyone's running into celebs left and right at BravoCon. So if you are a true fan and if you like multiple shows, I think it would be worth it. You alone, Adam, I know you're a big Summer House fan. Granted, I think you have a relationship with some of these people, but it is fun to, like, you take a right and there's, Craig, and then you take a left and there's, I don't know. I'm trying to think of everyone. But it's Carl. It's just like they're everywhere. It's so cool.
Yeah. And then that's the thing is I'm not a Bravo obsessed. I think Bravo is so fun. I think Bravo killed soap operas. That's my opinion. Like, there used to be soap operas used to be big, but now Bravo is kind of taking the place of soap operas in a way. So it's like all these new soap opera stars running around, and they are reality stars. And these people walk around like the Beatles for a weekend, and
they truly are. Like, they are treated like Michael Jackson. It is insanity. And I was sitting there talking to Melissa this week, and I'm just like, it's wild how a lot of these networks struggle to have one hit show, and Bravo has somehow become the network that every show becomes a hit for them. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, 100%. Who was the coolest celebrity that you met out there? Don't give me Melissa Rivers. I want to know which person was the coolest person you met. The one you're like, this person's great.
I've met them all, though, before, so it's kind of cheating. But, who impressed me? I thought Craig Conover, again, we've known him. He was just really, like, genuinely nice. But I don't feel like I sat down and had like lunch with any of them because we were running around so much. Gretchen, Rossi, and Slade, I find very cool people. I had seen them a couple weeks back at Zach Peters' live podcast recording and ran into them out there. And they're just so nice. They come up every time they're walking past me. They made an opportunity to say hi and stop and chat. And I don't know, I find them very nice folks.
Yeah. Who was the most surprising person that you met? Something like you might have had a little bit of like an impression in your head, but they wound up being very much different in person.
I don't know if they were different, but I didn't expect to meet Rachel Zoe. And it's someone who I've covered for so many years, being like this fashion icon. So meeting her was kind of interesting. She has kind of like this cold aura around her, if that makes sense. But I think that's not uncommon. Like she she's kind of had that reputation of not being the most warm person on the planet. And so even when she was there, I was almost kind of nervous. I don't get really nervous around people, but more like, is she going to be mean? Is she going to be rude? Which she wasn't at all, but she just doesn't come across as like a warm, welcoming person. And she was totally fine.
Yeah.
Andy rushed by us. But again, he is being pulled left and right throughout the entire event.
Is he the biggest star at BravoCon?
Yeah.
Of all the people there, he's the biggest one, right?
So I wouldn't say that he is necessarily the biggest star. I would say that he has the most power and influence. So when he walks around, everyone's worshiping him in the back. You see every housewife, every summer house, and everyone needs to stop and like have their FaceTime with Andy. So he is drained by the end of the week, and you could hear his voice was going out. So I would say he has the most power in that place, and that's why everyone is like just swarming him left and right.
Yeah, I wonder if he flies private to BravoCon because he's the biggest name there. They are able to kind of charter a plane for him. Who wasn't the most pleasant person that you met? The one they're like, it was just. And I'm not saying they did anything wrong. They just kind of rubbed you the wrong way.
No, I wouldn't say. I would just say Andy seemed in the most hurry, so he gave us the least amount of time out of anyone there. Like if you watch the video, he walked up, stood on a red carpet, and then was like, "This is really cool, guys. This is really fun," and then walked off. Like we didn't even get an interview out of him. We didn't get anything out of him. There was a couple other opportunities that we spoke to him backstage, but he was the one that I got the least amount of time with, and I was kind of bummed because at least last time we got more of an interview with him.
Yeah. Which celebrity did you run into in the most random spot? Like, did you see any of them gambling in the casino? Did you see any of them at the bar?
No, I saw a couple in the elevator, like ran into Kyle Cook in the elevator at the hotel.
Is Kyle just walking around? Does he have security with him? Like,
No, he's just walking around. He even had, I noticed he had like a bag. He had like how do I say this? It's like I don't want to say like a briefcase, but you know, like a bag that you have over your shoulder.
Yeah.
So it was like a cream color, and it just literally said KC embroidered on the side of it. I thought that was kind of funny, like a big KC embroidered bag that he's carrying around. So he was nice. I had some other people tell me that they did not find him nice, which was kind of surprising because I've never heard that from Kyle. Have you had any interactions with him where you were kind of rubbed the wrong way?
Every time I've met Kyle, he's actually been like above and beyond. Like he's exceeded my expectations.
That's what I thought too. And someone that I talked to this weekend was like, "Oh, I saw him and he was just rude and disrespectful." And I was kind of like, "What?" I've never heard that from Kyle. So maybe they just caught him in a weird moment.
You know what's so interesting about Kyle? Sometimes you interview a celebrity and you get nervous asking tough questions. Mm-hmm. With Kyle, you don't feel nervous asking the tough questions, and he answers the tough questions. Yeah, which is like I respect. I find Kyle to be super pleasant. To be honest,
okay, I've got one for you that kind of surprised me was Tom Sandoval. I got an interview with Tom Sandoval this weekend, and he came up, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know what kind of Tom Sandoval we're gonna get here, right?" Super nice, super funny. Probably one of my favorite interviews of the weekend where we were asking him, like, what are you wearing? And he goes, I don't know. And he literally starts to unbutton his pants. And I'm like, what the hell are you going to do, dude? I thought he was going to drop his pants in front of us. And he like bent over and he's like, can you check out my tag on my pants and tell me who I'm wearing? So I'm like, well, I can tell you you're wearing Calvin Klein underwear. And I told him whatever name brand that he had on his pants. And then we're talking about his top, and he's like, I have no idea who I'm wearing. Can you check the tag on my jacket too? And it was just funny, like someone who has no idea, but like, just take a look. So he was really fun. And then he started to petition for like, I'd really love to do Dancing with the Stars. And I'm thinking, you're Tom Sandoval. Why wouldn't you be able to do Dancing with the Stars? And he goes, well, they haven't asked me. I said, well, manifest it, bro. And so he looked in the camera and said, I want to be on Dancing with the Stars. Get me on Dancing with the Stars. So it could be kind of interesting. If it seems like that would be an easy layup for him. I don't know how long he'd last because he's not the most beloved celebrity, but it would be fun to have him on.
Yeah, no, I get it. From my experiences dealing with Tom Sandoval, he's been, he's a nice guy. He's nice, and I saw his band perform.
Yeah.
And I thought it was a good show. I think what they do, it's a fun show. I think he makes it a fun experience for the people and gives them like that Instagram moment, like gets in the crowd, sings. So it's like, yeah, he performs. He makes it a party. So obviously he's got some luggage with him, but at the end of the day, it's like, no, he's not a bad guy, and I guess he makes people feel good. So all right, thank you for the Bravo recap. Maybe I'll go next year. Probably not, but I say
I don't think they're having it next year. I think the next one's in 2027.
So every 2 years are going to do it?
Andy said something. He was talking to someone, and he said, okay, I'll see you in 2027. I think what he's doing is doing this every 2 years, so it has time to like get the hype back up, get everyone excited. If you do it every year, it kind of loses the luster. So
I get
smart, but I'm kind of bummed because I truly enjoy doing this. I fucking love hanging out with Melissa Rivers for an entire weekend. She's so fun. She's totally down for like whatever crazy hijinks that I want to do. So it makes it really fun to like hang out and interview with someone like that.
Yeah, well, thank you for going out there and covering it, bud. I know you put a lot of your videos on our social media. It's on our Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Hollywood Raw.
You know what?
If you have any questions,
I had someone, by the way, I had someone that was like a friend of a friend reach out and be like, I couldn't stop, like every time I logged into Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, they were like, I just kept seeing these videos of the little mini red carpet that you guys were using on every platform. I'm like, yes, we did our jobs then and got it blanketed everywhere, and everyone was picking it up. So I feel like it was a success of a weekend.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I kept like liking the videos, but then I'm like, did I see this video? I was like, no, this is just a new one. I couldn't believe how many interviews you got. If you want to see Dax's videos, check out our private Facebook or check out our Instagram, TikTok, and all that stuff. We have all the videos up there, and see Dax running around BravoCon. Today is our Raw Rundown. We go with the top 10 stories of the week. How do we go with the top 10 stories of the week? It goes by Google search. It goes by data. And lastly, it goes by our personal opinion, but ultimately comes down to the data, what you guys are clicking on. Do you want to read a review, or do you want to get right into the
Raw rundown? You actually sent me a couple. Where did these reviews come from, by the way? Facebook?
Oh, I don't know if those are reviews I sent you.
Oh, well, I'll read this one because this one's from Leah Riviera Rabati. She said, I don't know how you guys don't have reviews to read. I've left 5 and none of them have been read on the podcast. I'm sorry. We're doing our best to read them as they pop up. So I'm going to take this as a review and read it. And thank you, Leah. I hope that this is good enough as a reading of a review for you. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Leah. And keep up the reviews. If you want to leave a review, go to the podcast app, put in Hollywood Raw, go to the bottom, and just say a few kind words and shout us out. Give us 5 stars, and we'll shout you out on the air. It's kind of fun to be in the car and we say your name on the air. Say your full name. So then all of a sudden, play the podcast in the car with your friend, your partner, and then be like, wait, did they just say your name on this show? And it's kind of what we do. All right, let's get to the Raw Rundown, starting with number 10.
Well, number 10, we got to talk about the biggest things that happened at BravoCon. And if you didn't listen to Wednesday's episode, that was filled with me and Melissa just running through everything that we saw backstage. But as for the biggest things that went down at BravoCon, number 1, I would say, was Vicki Gunvalson, our friend, getting back on the Real Housewives of OC for season 20. Andy surprised her on stage, and they were supposed to be giving an award to someone else. And instead he goes, Vicki, take this orange if you would like, and we'd like to have you back for season 20. And she has been petitioning. She's wanted to be back on the show for a long time. She said it. She even said it when she was on our podcast. And they gave it to her. So she was extremely excited. She broke down into tears. I talked to her there at BravoCon, and she was just so happy to finally kind of have this opportunity. You know, the interesting thing is he surprised her. She didn't know. None of the rest of the cast knew. You know what that means, Adam? That there was no negotiations. He offered her a spot on the show prior to negotiations. So I feel like she is holding a lot of cards in her hand at this point. Everyone wants her on. He's already asked her. So now she can kind of, I think, get what she wants.
Yeah. That could be interesting. So this happened? Was this like the talk of the town when that?
This was huge. Everyone, like everywhere she was walking, and it was funny because backstage she was walking around with the orange in her hand. Like he had given her the orange, and I'm like watching her. She's got the orange. Her handler has the orange. Like it was really funny to see her covet this little orange. And yes, it was the big talk of the town. Back in the lunchroom area, all these people were coming up to congratulate her and talk to her about it. So that was big news. The other big news was that Lala Kent and Tom Schwartz have been added to the cast of The Valley. So that was big news, breaking news there. They announced a Real Housewives of Rhode Island, which here's another franchise. They showed a little teaser clip of it. It looks pretty juicy. It's, you're going to Rhode Island where there's some massive amounts of wealth. And they got into that. The face that popped up, though, while they were talking about the Real Housewives of Rhode Island is Ashley Iancotti. Is that how you say the last name? Iancotti from The Bachelor? Canetti? Is that how you say it?
I don't know. One of those. You're friends with her.
Ashley, I'm friends with her. I never say her last name. It's normally Ashley and Jared. And I saw their faces pop up with that. And she is going to be on the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. I'm like, she is too nice. She's going to get just decimated on this show. I am nervous for her. She cried so much on The Bachelor. I think you're probably going to see more tears from her. Her and Jared are two of the nicest people. We know them pretty well through this podcast and other things. And I'm excited to see how that lands for them. They were not there, though.
Here's the things, Dex. Not my issue with it. You say Rhode Island has so much wealth, but they're not wealthy. And I say that I'm sure they do okay, but
I don't know. I don't know if they come from a wealthy family, though. I don't know their backgrounds.
I know. It's don't you, the Housewife franchise? You want to always see luxury and sort of the lifestyle of these very wealthy women. And I don't think they could be very wealthy. I don't. I felt think they're wealthy.
Wasn't Ashley, though? I'm trying to remember what her storyline was on The Bachelor. I don't know. I don't know if she comes from a ton of wealth. They have to have some kind of money at this point to be able to be on that show, though. So if it's family money, it's family money. Whatever.
Shop.
They can't go from a 12-bedroom.
I seen her house on Instagram. It's nothing crazy.
I know, but they can't go from a 12-bedroom mansion from one of the housewives to an apartment of Ashley and Jared. They have to have something going on. I don't know.
We'll see. But also, I think they with the Rhode Island, they also want to put in some built-in sort of people that sort of people know. I can also see Bravo trying to bring in some of the Bachelor audience to kind of come over.
I think it's smart. Other big news: Teresa Giudice and Joe Gorga and Melissa Gorga, they made up. They were at BravoCon. They hugged. They have now reconnected. So I think this was huge news. You know that this has been family drama for years and years and years. Teresa and Joe, who are brother and sister, have had a major falling out. And so to come back together, there is no word, however, if Bravo is going to be renewing Real Housewives of New Jersey. So I don't know if this was done as hey guys, let's get this show renewed, because they haven't filmed in quite a long time, even though they were all there. So it seems like it was beyond just them. The family as a whole have all kind of gotten back together, because Gia was even talking about it.
But that's the thing is, Dax, so Teresa being there, Teresa's not on Bravo anymore. Are they just sitting at their table just selling their stuff? Because they're not on stage at all. Because
they go on stage and stuff. Yeah, I think they were.
Why would Joe Gorga be on stage?
They do.
When they're
they do panels. They bring people out. It's not just for current members. You have a lot of celebs there. You have a lot of friends of cast members. Denise Richards is there. You had, who else did I see that I was oh, that's interesting, because Denise Richards, she's not a housewife, isn't she? Isn't she a friend of a housewife?
Denise Richards was a housewife.
Okay. Well, they have a lot of people there that are related to Bravo somehow. I saw Nick Viall walking backstage. You just see everyone shows up, and you're either a panelist, or you're moderating something, or you're hosting something. Everything's going on there.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I think those were the big things, I think.
Can we move on to number 9?
Yeah, let's do it.
Number 9.
All right. Keanu Reeves, if you remember, Adam, years ago we talked about a bunch of items being stolen from his home, including a bunch of Rolex watches, one that was really special to him because it was a gift that he gave to a bunch of the stuntmen on John Wick, and they was all engraved, and he got one, and then he gave them off as gifts. That was in this collection that was stolen from him, and it was just like this massive jewelry heist in 2023. Well, apparently it has all been found and returned to Keanu, and this is what the FBI confirmed, that they were able to track down all these stolen items, and it seems like they found them in Chile, and they had been working with the Chilean government to get them back here to America, and it has been done. And Keanu actually did a handwritten thank you note to the government saying that it's with profound gratitude and appreciation that I'm writing this letter. He said, "Thank you so much for all your effort, dedication, professionalism, and cross-border cooperation. My warmest regards, Keanu." And I think the total value of all these different watches was somewhere around like $125,000. That engraved Rolex Submariner, the one that I was talking about, was almost like 10 G's. And so I think he's pretty happy to get all of this back. I'm just wild to think that they were even able to find this, especially when it was in a foreign country.
Well, that's kind of, it happens a lot. I mean, it's, they get some stuff and they bring it over to another country and it's just gone. You know, you saw the story with Shaq recently getting his car stolen, and, you know, it was sort of near like the Mexico border. Like, it's kind of a crazy thing. Like, as soon as it goes out of the country, it's hard to find. It's a whole different ordeal, but pretty wild that they were able to find it. Number 8.
Number 8, Post Malone and his child custody battle is finally done. We've been talking about this for months and months and months, but there's congratulations in order because him and his baby mama finally settled that child custody war. Her name is Hee-sung Park. She goes by Jamie. They reached an agreement on custody, visitation rights, and child support for their 3-year-old daughter. And this all happened last week in a court document that got obtained by TMZ. And it seems like they are all good now, meaning they can move forward. He is now dating, at least I think he was dating a new woman. But this was a pretty big issue. I remember she initially filed the paperwork. I believe it was in Utah. He filed it here. She filed it there. The court proceedings moved to California at the beginning of 2025. And then it seems like everything worked out. Oh, wait, hold on. Maybe I got that a little backwards. Maybe he did it the opposite way. Let me read this story real fast. He had already filed in Utah. She filed here because she would have got more rights in California than Utah. That's right. Okay. So, yes. Sorry, had to clear that up.
So he breaks up the baby mama and then goes up with this another girl. The crazy part is the two girls look exactly the same, in my opinion, at least. I mean, not just because they're Asian. That's what most people say. No, I thought, like, I couldn't tell the difference, that they were both the same. Like, everything happened a little really racist quick right now, Adam. I'm not trying to. Of course, that's the easy thing to say, but it happened so quick, though. It was like, wait, what? And it was like, it definitely comes across right, but it's not. It was just the girls look very. I'm going to
save you, and we're going to move on to the next story.
Okay, moving on. Number 7. There was no break. I just went right into it. Number 7.
Porsha Williams from Real Housewives of Atlanta got investigated by the FBI following a Delta flight incident after she left BravoCon. She was flying back to Atlanta. The FBI, I guess, were called out because her and someone else on her flight got into it. It sounds like there was nothing major that went down. However, the FBI was there waiting for her to deboard that plane to talk to her and talk to the other person. And it seems like no federal charges are getting filed as of this moment or as of us recording this podcast. But that may change over the next couple of days. But it seems like something happened. There was some yelling. The flight went on as usual, landed, and then it seems like the FBI was called in to at least chat with them. So TMZ did have some video of her getting off the plane. She seemed in a jovial mood, kind of laughing, smiling when she got off. However, I don't have all the details of what exactly went down on this plane. So I'm assuming it'll come out over the next couple of days, though.
Were you ever on a plane when someone went crazy?
I can't say I have been. I
Neither
mean,
have
I've
mean,
seen rude people, but nothing like screaming wild or anything like that.
yeah, I've never done that. I always see the videos, but I've never been on a plane with someone going nuts.
No.
And then especially if it was a celebrity, that'd be great. Who's the biggest celebrity ever saw on a plane with you?
Ooh, that is a great question. I was on a flight, so this was when I flew to New York to do the Live with Kelly competition. On my flight was half the cast of This Is Us. And so it was Sterling K. Brown, it was Christy Metz, and
Mandy
it
Moore.
was and what? Not Mandy. Justin, what's Justin's last name?
Justin Hartley or
Justin Hartley. So the three of them, which are the siblings on the show, all three were on my flight. So I was next to them in line. I was next to them at the baggage. I took photos with a bunch of them. Like Sterling K. Brown was literally right in front of me all through the security line. And he like had his headphones on, didn't want to talk to anyone. But that was probably the coolest star-studded flight, especially because This Is Us was the biggest show on at that moment.
Pretty cool. Perfect time
you?
to take a photo with a celebrity when you're doing it. I mean, I can't think of anybody off. It's such a big question. And I'm sure people have been on my plane. The only people I could think of offhand, like just that comes to my mind, and this was a recent flight. Cedric the Entertainer was on my plane. Oh, but okay. That's the only person I can remember. I'm sure there was other people. Like the Super Bowl, I was on a flight with Shannon Sharp, like Nick Mangold, like some athletes. But I can't recall anybody else to my memory.
My wife was on a flight with Matthew Perry to Australia, and that's
cool
because she's a massive Friends fan, and this was years back when I wouldn't say Friends was on, but just seeing Matthew Perry, he was still one of the biggest stars on the planet at that point.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. You know, it's so funny. You talk about taking photos with celebrities. I don't know if you saw this video recently of Anthony Mackie that a guy went up to him, approached him while he was having a drink at a bar, eating, to like say hi to him, just say, hey, I'm a big fan. I don't know what the guy said to him, but I said in the past, Anthony Mackie is not a nice guy. From my experiences, like he gives you the death look by like even like trying to talk to him. And I felt bad. This guy like seemed like he was just saying, hey, I'm just a big fan real quick. Or, you know, and with that said, he did approach him while he was eating, but Anthony Mackie is still he's not one of the warmest of people of all, and gave this guy the dirtiest look. And people kind of shit on this guy on the internet, like the fans, saying, you approached him during dinner, you touched his shoulder, you shouldn't have touched him. But I was like, yeah, but also Anthony Mackie is the worst.
Yeah, he's not warm. I have been approached in some, like, I had someone say, hey, loved you on TMZ, like, as we're taking a piss at the urinal. I'm like, this is not the moment, bro. Like, this is really weird. I've also been having a massage, and the person massaging me was like, oh, I loved you on TMZ. And I'm like, again, this is not the moment. This is really weird. So I can only imagine what like true celebs have to go through, and the amount of awkward moments. Like you're getting like your prostate exam and your doctor's like, hey, great episode last week.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it. But again, the guy was just eating, or he was at a bar having a drink with a friend, and the guy approached him, and I was like, oh, bad move. But yeah, I mean, again, it was people are blaming the fan. I also blame Anthony Mackie too. He sucks. Anyway, number 6.
A couple big burglaries happened this week while some of these stars were at BravoCon, but Kathy Hilton and Sutton, both housewives of Beverly Hills, their homes were broken into on Saturday while they were in Vegas celebrating BravoCon. Around 2 p.m. on Saturday, Sutton's dog walker called 911, said the kitchen window was broken. Cops showed up, filed a report. Did not know if anything was taken at the time. And then more alarming was on Saturday night, Rick Hilton called 911 and said there were 3 burglars inside the home. Cops came, but apparently the burglars had escaped. Again, don't know if anything was taken at the time, but the fact that Rick was in the home is very, very scary. And so obviously because of all the social media posts showing them out of town, burglars took this to their advantage to go and rob the places. And I can tell you, TMZ saying with direct knowledge that Rick Hilton was physically in the home at the time of the break-in, but was not harmed, and he is totally fine. So just kind of scary. And I talked to both these ladies at BravoCon. They were both very, very nice. And I hadn't met Nikki Hilton. I'd met Kathy before. And talking to Kathy, I look over, I'm like, oh shit, Nikki's here. Come on over, Nikki. So fun times with the Hiltons this weekend.
Very cool. Number 5.
Drake looks like he was dissing Serena Williams. So he posted up a bunch of photos this week of him and Sexyy Red. They were playing tennis together, and she took a bunch of photos with him with a tennis racket. And someone underneath in the comments wrote Serena Williams upgrade and did a bunch of fire emojis. He went and he liked that one comment. And so I think that this is a pretty big diss at Serena Williams. Keep in mind, Serena had already kind of dissed him at the Super Bowl when Kendrick Lamar came out and was singing "This Is Not Like Us," and she was end up crip walking in the middle of the song. She said, "Oh, I just want to crip walk because I wasn't able to do it at Wimbledon, and this represents Compton, where I'm from." She turned it into a Compton thing, but that whole song was a diss track towards Drake, and I think that's how everyone took it. Being his ex-girlfriend, that was a pretty big statement, so I'm not surprised that he is like, screw you, Serena, because she tried to cover it up like it wasn't a diss, but at the end of the day, that's how everyone took it. So I can see him being over her at this point.
I could see him definitely being over her. I also could see Serena Williams, who's known for kind of doing the crip walk, to do it at the Super Bowl and say, "This is like my thing for Compton," because that's where she's from. It's a she's a great story. But yet again, it is to a Drake song.
If you had no animosity towards Drake, this is the one song you would not want to even show your face. You don't even want to be in the crowd dancing to it because people are going to connect the dots. Her being the ex-girlfriend.
It's the Super Bowl. There's so much going on.
Saying, she had a different level of interaction with Drake than the rest of us.
If I was her rep, I would say I think there's still no hesitation regarding not doing it. And she's moved on. She's married. This is years later. It's like, come on, let's just move on. But I also understand that people are going to try to make into something more. But if I was Serena, I wouldn't regret doing what she did at the Super Bowl. And she did it well. Number 4.
Elon Musk firing back at Billie Eilish. So this week, Billie had called Elon a pathetic pussy bitch coward for hoarding his wealth instead of fixing global issues. He's obviously the richest man in the world, and she went after him on Instagram in one of her stories, basically because he's on track to be the world's first trillionaire thanks to Tesla and all of his other investments. And she basically was like, he could literally solve world hunger by handing out $40 billion each year, and it would be over by 2023. And so she's calling him out. And she also called out a couple other billionaires at a recent, I think it was like a Wall Street Journal event or something like that. And she said it in front of Mark Zuckerberg. Mark Zuckerberg was in the room, and she's looking around. She's like, there's so many people with much more money than me. And if they would just start giving away their money, the world would be a better place, because we're in a really dark place right now. And, some of those billionaires out there, wink, wink, looking at you. And so anyway, Elon Musk fired back at her and said she is not the sharpest tool in the shed. That was his comment on Billie Eilish, which it's funny because I see both sides. Like, he's like, hey, this is my money. He does give away a lot of money, but maybe it's not necessarily to the causes that she wants the money to go to. But at the end of the day, it is his money. I would love to have that kind of cash. Do you think it was right what she said?
Yeah, I mean...
You think he should be forced to give up his money?
No, not at all. I'd say, listen, she's allowed to have an opinion. Do I agree with her opinion? No, it's his money. So I don't know if Elon Musk is the person you want to start a beef with, because Elon Musk will just keep going and going and going. Mm-hmm. And he won't let this go, in my opinion. And she's allowed to have her opinion. Do I agree with her opinion? No.
A lot of people looked at her and was like, what the hell? You're also a multi-millionaire. You give away your money. And she is donating 11.5 million bucks to, I guess, some of her latest charities that fight against climate crisis. So she is giving away money, but she feels like other people have more and should be giving more. Listen, I know he donates a lot of cash. He does a lot of that. I would just say to each their own. And if you let people donate what they want to donate, like, you don't need to call them out.
Yeah, I don't want to say it personally. Charity is a weird thing to me too. I think if you have the time, which I'm sure you have someone, you want to also give it to a charity that also means a lot to you, and they're going to do something with the money. Because you got to remember, the charity is also, there's a business behind charity. There's people that are profiting off charity. So I don't know. There's a lot there, but
it's just hard when you've got like rich people being like, "You donate more than me. Donate more than me." I'm like, how about?
Well, then there's celebrities
just worry about
that
yourself
have
and donate, and that's it.
This has nothing to do with it, but there's celebrities that have charities that their charities don't really make any money or really donate any money because they raise money, but then the people who work for the charity are making $200,000 a year working for that charity. So it's a whole
so that's
shady.
That's one of the issues that people say with Elon is that he does donate a lot of money, but it kind of helps fuel his own programs and kind of like a self-fulfilling cycle for himself. Whatever. I can't say, I haven't looked into and dissected all of the places that he donates money to, but that's one of the arguments against how he donates.
Okay. Number 3.
Kate Winslet recalling a very embarrassing moment where she was about to meet King Charles for the first time, and I guess she looked down, and this, by the way, she was talking about this all on Jimmy Kimmel Live this week, but it was her first ever encounter with Charles, and she decided that day to wear a see-through outfit, and I guess it was like a dress that you could literally see her nipples, and she sees him approaching and realizes, oh shit, why did I wear a see-through dress? My nipples are going to be showing. Luckily, she did have a jacket that was on top of it. And she just said, like, I just kept thinking, oh my God, nipples, 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 nipples. Oh my God. And so she just recalls having this like panic attack at the time, realizing she's going to meet the future king with her nips hanging out.
Yeah. I mean, that's got to be kind of a fun. Imagine being there at the moment, like, oh my God, like that car ride over there, like, I'm going to meet this guy with my nipples out. That's pretty cool.
So funny.
Right. Number 2.
Number 2, Danny Masterson, not happy with having to spend the next 30 years in jail. So he is now blaming his lawyer for the rape conviction. And this all comes weeks after his wife, or his ex-wife, filed to change their daughter's last name. So he is saying, look, I shouldn't be in jail for the next 30 years. I know this is my prison sentence after being found guilty of sexually assaulting 2 women in the early 2000s. But he is saying he shouldn't be there, that his lawyer absolutely failed at their job at the last, that second trial that he had. He said, so he is now seeking to overturn his conviction. He filed that paperwork on November 17th. Like I said, this comes 2 weeks after his ex-wife, Bijou Phillips, asked a court to remove Masterson from their daughter's name. So now the daughter's name would, instead of Fiona Masterson, it'd be Fiona Phillips. So they're waiting on the approval from the judge. But he is saying that there was unfairness in that second trial, and it was a result of basically his lawyer's misconduct, judicial bias, and failures on the defense counsel to present the proper evidence. So he is now trying to either get a retrial or just get his sentence. I guess he is saying he deserves a new trial where a jury can hear his side as well. He doesn't feel like his side was properly portrayed. He said that there was certain witnesses and individuals who could have testified and been a witness for him that were like there on one of the nights that he is being accused of rape. He is saying that other guests were there at the home that evening and heard what they believed to be quote unquote enthusiastic consensual sexual activity. And so he wants them to be able to come and say their side of the story. Listen, I don't know where this is going to go.
Yeah. I don't know where that's going to go. I don't know if this guy, I mean, I guess he has some money to pay for some lawyers. I don't know where that's going to go.
How does he still have money after all this?
Sort of interesting. I don't know.
I look at Bill Cosby and I look at Harvey Weinstein. These people that are just every day. I feel like there's a new story in the news about their lawyers presenting paperwork. all that shit costs tons of money. To file this paperwork was probably $10, $20, $30,000 in lawyers' fees and like billable hours. How do they still have money after all of this? They're not working. They're just sitting behind bars.
But also, I look at it as like if you're Harvey Weinstein, you have so much money that you just use this money and burn it just to get a break out of jail and go eat a sandwich that your lawyer brings in. Like, hey, do me a favor, bring in like a chicken parm sandwich from my favorite deli. I miss it. Okay, and just that's what you're looking for.
I don't think you can do that. I don't think that's like a thing.
I don't know. What, they can't bring in sandwiches for their
I don't think
guy
so.
there? I wonder what that is. But also, if you're I guess this guy is not going to leave any money for his kid anymore. But it's like, if you're one of the kids or some of the family, like, stop burning this money. Just give it to us.
Just
like, let us use it.
Just sit in jail and rot. Don't try to get out.
Yeah, like we're done. We lost. Game over. Wave the white flag. Move on. Dax, the number one story of the week.
Number one story of the week is Ariana Grande disappointing a lot of her musical fans. She is saying, hey, she's got this tour coming up next year, and it looks like it might be her one last hurrah when it comes to music. She wants to focus her time on other ventures. I'm assuming that means acting, because obviously her acting career has taken back off with the Wicked franchise. But she was on Amy Poehler's podcast, Good Hang, and she was talking about, like, she's just had a great life, a great career. She said that I think the last 10 to 15 years will look very different to the ones that are coming up. She said that she doesn't want to say anything is 100% in stone, but she does have this tour coming up, and she said that it might not happen again for a very long, long, long time. So that tour is called the Eternal Sunshine Tour, and look, who knows? I don't know if she's going to end up doing music after this or just focus on doing movies. You know, she's obviously starring in Wicked for good, and then she's in the upcoming Fokker-in-Law movie, and she's just excited about everything that she's doing, and it just might not mean that she is going to be venturing back into music anytime soon.
I'm curious how she looks or how she'll come across in her acting in the new Meet the Parents sequel type thing that I know she just wrapped in, because I'm going to be honest with you. I actually am curious about your opinion, Dex. Is it me, or is Ariana Grande coming a little bit weird lately? Coming across a little bit weird with, the interviews you've seen her do with Cynthia,
Riva.
It just it comes across like as a young like diva, Cher almost like. And I don't know if she's at that stage. She's trying to build herself up to be like that. It's like, I'm a diva, but I don't know if she's there yet. I don't know if she's deserving of that sort of status.
I mean, her musical talent, she is a true diva. I think her voice puts her in the categories with Mariah and Celine.
She has a good tone. She has a good voice, but she doesn't have enough hits yet.
I'll give you that.
Not enough classics yet. Yeah.
Seven Rings wasn't a classic? I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. You don't have to answer that. No, I think
there's not one song that you're going to play at a wedding or a bar mitzvah or whatever.
I think she is very, very talented. I probably 100%. Wouldn't hang up your coat yet when it comes to music, because that I think is such a creative outlet for her, and she became a much bigger star being a musician than she did acting to start with. She is now going back to acting now that she's a huge star. We'll see. I don't know. I didn't watch the Wicked movies, so I can't give you a genuine response on how good her acting was. I guess my best answer for you on that.
It's just some of the interviews were coming across very weird, and obviously she had that scare recently on the red carpet overseas. But I'm just like, why? Now she wants to retire? No, I have nothing wrong. Like, hey, I just want to take a break and like do you.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think they're building her up to be like such a young star. I'm like, I don't think
she's good at publicity. She's good at press. I mean,
she's good at press.
She knows how to strum up controversy. I mean, she pulled the Taylor Swift move where it's sing about your ex-boyfriend and say stuff about them, and it gets you a lot of press. She did it really well. I would say she really screwed over Pete Davidson after their breakup, and that kind of rubbed me in the wrong way. I just remember being like, man, you were engaged to this guy and you turned around and just wrote a nasty song about him. I just felt like that was kind of fucked up. But anyway, she is going to be doing the SNL's Christmas episode, and the musical guest will not be her on the episode. It'll actually be Cher. And so she was on Jimmy Fallon, and she said, I'm so excited. I didn't know that it was going to be her until like 2 days before I found out, and I almost passed out. She said, it's going to be one of the gayest SNL episodes ever, which made me laugh.
It's funny. All right, that is our Raw Rundown. Thank you guys for watching on YouTube. Make sure you guys like and subscribe right here. If you're listening to us, thank you. Give us a review on the Apple charts or wherever you listen to the podcast. Spotify. Say a few kind words. Check out our private Facebook group, Off the Record. We all kind of BS with each other. Follow me at Adam Glyn. Follow Dax Holt at Dax Holt. Check out our TikTok page, Instagram page, so you can see all of Dax's incredible interviews. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Guys, hope you liked that video. We got a lot more where that came from.
Hit that bell, like, subscribe, share with a friend. The best thing you do to support us is really doing that. And we really need the money because we need hair gel.